Good guy, that Mike Garafolo. Great guy. Great to see Mike Garafolo. Our weekly visit with the NFL Network star reporter. Mike, things aren't going great in Pittsburgh, as we know. Mike Tomlin, pretty philosophical about it. Kind of loved his response. But could this be the year that Mike Tomlin finally finishes below 500? I'll take it a step further. Is Mike Tomlin on the hot seat in the Berg?
Jay, they send us these win projections, beginning of the season, middle of the season, where we are now, and a lot of times there's a lot of fluctuation. Like if you look at the Indianapolis Colts, it was like 7.5 coming into the year, went all the way up to 12.5. Now it's dropping back down. The Steelers line is 8.5, 8.5, 8.5, 8.5, right? Because that's just kind of where it always is, and they're always hovering around there. And are they going to get to 9 again, or are they going to stay at 8? I think it's possible. Yes, it's a tough closing stretch for them. They're not playing good football right now. What they expected of Aaron Rodgers and his marriage with Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator, hasn't materialized. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the year it's under 500 for Mike Tomlin. And then, like you said, take it a step further. I'm not ruling anything out. If you ask me right now, I would say what I'm being told, and my colleagues are being told the same, is that they're not going to fire Mike Tomlin. And they're not going to trade Mike Tomlin, and that only Mike Tomlin's retirement would be why he wouldn't be the coach of the Steelers next year. An organization hasn't fired a coach since like 1968 or something I saw the other day, between Chuck Noll and Bill Cowher, and as long as Mike Tomlin has been there, certainly a lot of continuity at the coaching position. I'm not ruling anything out, though. We still got some time to go here. We got to see how it plays out, how it finishes. We shall see.
All right, let's stay in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Mike, because the Philadelphia Eagles, reigning Super Bowl champions, comfortably in first place in the NFC East. Losers of 2 straight, though, and that means the offensive coordinator's house is going to get egged. You know the rules in Philly. You know that town as well as I do. So is it as tumultuous outside that house that got egged as it is inside Philly headquarters right now?
I went on a rant on Good Morning Football earlier today with regard to egging the house. And initially we thought they were rocks being thrown at the house. It is just moronic behavior. And I do know, you talked about that town and how much I know it. Here's what I know. Big Dom DeSandro is on the case. And if Big Dom is on the case, it's like Liam Neeson with a special set of skills. Those people are going to be caught. Good luck. So, yeah, I mean, that's one thing with regard to that. That shouldn't happen. But inside the Eagles organization, inside that building, they're still trying to portray confidence that this thing is going to be turned around. There was a miscommunication between Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith on a big play that probably would have gone for a touchdown against the Bears, could have completely changed the game. There was another ball that was a little bit underthrown on a should-have-been pass interference. That could have changed the game. You know, you hate to keep doing this and saying, well, if not for this, if not for that, if not for this, if not for Lane Johnson being hurt, the offensive line might be blocking better. But at some point, you got to try to keep this hope going if you're the Eagles and say, we are going to get this offense going. Because we've seen it in spurts, Jay. We really have. We even saw it in spurts against the Bears. All of a sudden, bang, 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 past A.J. Brown, they're in the end zone. So it's in there somewhere. It's just got to get consistent. I will say this, the last time they had a 10-day layoff, they came back against the Vikings with the extra time to prepare and heal up, and they played extremely well on offense. So I wouldn't be surprised if they come out against the Chargers and play well on offense. And by the way, on the other end of that game, Justin Herbert with that hand and the surgery, not going to be surprised if he plays either.
Yeah, that really interested to see what happens with Herbert as the season winds down. And then, of course, the Thursday nighter, Mike, a massive game between Dallas and Detroit. But the big question is, the Lions need Amon-Ra St. Brown. He did not practice on Tuesday. Dan Campbell talked about this when he got injured. Could be a couple of weeks. So is it a case of next man up now for a team that's just desperately chasing that playoff spot?
Potentially, and they're starting to get really thin in Detroit on both sides. Defensively, Terrion Arnold going to be lost for the season, their young cornerback. So now you go to the offensive side of the ball, and you can't really continue to lose key guys there as well. They tried to bring Frank Ragnow, the center, back. That didn't work out. So it just feels like the Lions are trying a lot of things to get back, sort of like the Eagles we just talked about, to where they were last year and not getting there at this point. I will say with regard to Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think this is going to go down to the wire, and they're going to try to give him as much time as they possibly can to see if he can play. I'd lean towards the no right now, but, you know, at some point you think about how vital this game is against the Cowboys. I think whoever loses this game is definitely going to be the outside looking in. This might be it for those teams because they have to continue to win to stay in the wild card race, as well as for the Lions, the NFC North race. Amon-Ra understands that, so he's going to try everything he possibly can. As we stand here right now, I cannot give you that call right now. Again, I would lean towards the no, but I'm going to say truly questionable as we get closer to Thursday.
Mike, here's my promise to you. The only eggs that'll be approaching your house are the ones that we whip up for you in a fluffy, delicious omelet, okay?
That sounds great.
Thanks, Mike. You're the best. Mike Garafolo from the NFL Network. Don't forget, Thursday night, as Mike and I talked about, Detroit and Dallas. What a massive, massive matchup. These 7-5 Lions, these 6-5-1 Cowboys, Dallas a 3-point underdog despite their 3-game win streak. These two squads battling to make the postseason. You can see the game at 8:15 Eastern Time. Our show will immediately follow the game.